And March, okay, so we're live.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Teen Talk Live. I am your host, Ann Dillard, and today we are just excited that you are joining us. You're joining us on Teen Talk Live. Again, I'm Ann Dillard, and we have the great Coach Larry McKenzie joining us today. Good evening, Coach. Welcome.
Well, good evening, and thank you for having me today.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, our topic for this month is mentoring matters. And when I think about mentors, you are one of the first people that came to mind. And I just knew that given the opportunity and your schedule, I just had to have you on to join us on Team Talk Live.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, and quite an honor for you to think of me that way. So.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just going to say hey to our guest, Glenda, and I'm glad you're here. Feel free to comment as we go through. Oh, Lady Meriwether, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. And Daryl, I'm glad you're here. Takesha, I'm glad you're joining us tonight. And we're talking about mentoring, and we are with Coach Larry McKenzie. And Coach is just one of the titles that he goes by. And I know you don't get caught up in titles, Coach.
Not at all. Definitely, yes. Not at all.
I know you don't. You're just more about the character than anything else. And that's one of the reasons why I appreciate you so much. So right now we can see that you are in the gym. Look like you're in the locker room or in your office.
Yeah, I'm in the coach's office right now, yes.
Okay, and that is at North High School in Minneapolis. Am I correct?
That is correct, yes.
Awesome.
So welcome from Minneapolis.
Right. Polar Nation.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right in, Coach, and we're talking about mentorship. So can you give us, especially those who are not familiar with you, I know everybody in Minneapolis need no introduction, but can you give the rest of the world an idea of some of the venues or areas in which you've served youth?
Well, I mean, I've been a variety of things. I mean, I actually, some many years ago, started my career in terms of serving young people as a juvenile advocate in a program in St. Paul called New Beginning Center. I was a long time, I was a big brother for 7 years, serving a young man in a big brother relationship through, at the time, it was Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Minneapolis. Now, what's they merged in the Twin Cities. I've been a coach now for some 30 plus years in terms of mentor. I've worked in the classroom, started a mentoring program for African American males in 1985 for young men at Minneapolis North and Minneapolis Patrick Henry. So have served in a variety of ways as a mentor. And as I mentioned, what I'd like to do is kind of share my story about why I guess I've done this work and and really the reason for who I am. And so I always tell people I grew up in a household with two parents, but when I came to college, I met a gentleman by the name of John K. Cameron. And I met him through my college fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated. And John K. Cameron, out of all the young men that was involved, kind of took me under his wings at 19 years of age. And, you know, I honestly, he taught me everything, you know, how to dress, how to go to business meetings, how to do all of those kind of things. And the thing for me was, you know, as he was mentoring me, when birthdays and holidays and all of those things would come around, I would always try to, you know, like buy a gift, take him out to dinner, any of those kind of things that people are, he would never, ever take a gift. never ever would allow me to pay for a meal, any of those kind of things. And the thing that he constantly said to me from day one to the time, and I lost him now about 10 years ago. But
Wow.
the thing that he always said to me was, all I want from you is I want you to allow someone else to stand on your shoulders the way that you stood on mine. So, and every time I would ask him, what do you want for Christmas? The thing he would say, all I want from you, I want you to allow someone else to stand on your shoulders the way that you stood on mine. So I tell people, in all honesty, since 1981, the only way that I've ever been able to pay him back is through giving back. And so all of my work to young men, and particularly African American young men, has really been because of the impact that my mentor, John K. Cameron, had on my life. So this is all about when people talk about paying it forward,
Yes.
he really paid it forward. And so for me now, again, like I say, never took a gift, never took a dime, never even allowed me to pick up a tab for a meal. And he just always said to me, I want you to allow other people to stand on your shoulders the way that you stood on mine. So for me, every opportunity to serve, to make a difference in a young man's life is paying John K. Cameron back for the way that he allowed me to stand on his shoulders.
Wow, what a great testimony. And if you're watching, I want you to just hashtag stand on my shoulder. Just in the comments, put hashtag stand on my shoulder, because that's really what it's all about. Allowing, paying it forward by allowing somebody else and passing on that message.
Yes, and so that's that. So of all the kids that I've touched, I mean, I tell them that's what it's always been about. And what he asked me to do to all the young men that I've been, that's the same message that I pass on to them now. The only payback that I ever want is you to allow someone else to stand on your shoulders the way that you stood on mine.
That,
So
that's so amazing. Let me take a minute just to welcome our guest, Nancy, that you're here. Thanks for joining. Cassie, I'm glad you're here. Erica and Judith, I'm glad you're here. Anthony, thank you for joining. Thank you for that comment. Shania, stand on my shoulders, because we have an obligation, we have a responsibility, because we didn't come to this work by ourselves. Somebody brought us in, and we had to stand on somebody's shoulders. And so I appreciate that message. So Coach, you my goodness, you have been known for just bringing the fire to the north side.
well, I mean, again, I mean, and I always tell people, I mean, if you're gonna do something, as one of the things about being a coach, I mean, I don't like losing, and I always tell people you don't remember second and third place. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna give it 100% and absolutely bring my best. And so, that's what we try to do. And, one of the things I always tell, so as we're talking about mentoring, one of the things that I use, and I'm sure you've heard me use this over the years, is there's role models and then there's real models.
There you
And and role models are people that we look at and we see on TV every now and then. We never really get a chance to touch. We read about them. And then real models are the people that we can touch and see that are in our lives. And so my practice has always been to be a real model, not a role model. And I always tell folks, that I come in contact with, I'm never going to ask anybody to do anything that I'm not willing to do.
Yes, and you've lived by example every step of the way. Just going to read a comment. Glendon says, being a coach, your role is a leader. That's the only words I can use to describe a man in your shoes. Keep up the good work, and goal game kickoff. And stand on my shoulder, hashtag. Thank you, Kristen, for being here. Yes, real model versus role model. And it's, I like that term real model, because real model puts it in the context of something and someone you can touch.
Absolutely. And so that becomes, your uncles, your dads, your granddads, your coaches, your teachers, because, I mean, those are the folks that you're going to see And so hopefully, as you understand that responsibility of being a real model, one of the things, one of my favorite movies I always says Ocean 11, somebody's always watching. So you have to be conscious that somebody's always watching. And with kids these days, part of this is it's not what we say, but it's certainly what we do.
That is so true. And the fact that somebody's always watching, I remember even before leaving Minneapolis, I can hardly go anywhere around the Twin Cities area that I don't run into somebody.
That's right.
A parent, it could be a past student, a past mentee, somebody saying, Miss Ann. And it's like, oh Lord, you just have to live. It's not, being a mentor isn't a job that you put on and take off.
Not at all. But the other part that I say too, and I know you will appreciate this, of all the things, of all the assignments that God could give us in our lives, for me to be tapped on the shoulder, to be able to do this work, I just think, that's just something awesome in terms of what he thinks of me, because he could choose anybody, you know what I'm saying? Or I could be doing something different, but to give me the responsibility of being a molder, of young people, I guess it's something that I just cherish, and because he feels that I'm special in that way, I look at it that way.
That's right, and we feel that you're special in that way too, and it is a calling to be a
mentor.
That is a great calling, and it's amazing. So one of the things that I admire about you is that your students are academic athletes. And
yes, we demand that they be student athletes. Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about that, because we've had two of our nephews play for you, and it's always amazing to see when they post their report cards and things like that. So tell us about your belief around that.
Well, so one of the things is that I tell all of our kids, I really don't want to coach anybody that I can't send to college. And I've been blessed in 18 years to have 100%, graduation, 100% college. All of my kids have gone to a 4-year or 2-year school. And so one of the things, really, there's no magic to it. It's just about accountability. And so for us is, we check their grades. We do mandatory study hall with our kids. And the thing that's really been fascinating, to your point, and I would say it's kind of, that you've kind of arrived and you've made a difference when you see young African-American males. And I'm like you, I'm sitting up one night in the bed and I click on Facebook, and all of a sudden my players are posting their report cards. These are young Black boys who are proud of being great students. And I'm saying, wow, you know what I'm saying? That's when you know that you really begin to change the mindset. And so right now, as I sit here with you, I'm proud that, on our varsity team right now that's in the locker room, we don't have a single kid that's out on that floor with under a 3.0 GPA.
Wow. That is so powerful and so significant, because with a graduation rate that's under 50%.
Yes.
You are telling me that 100% of your players are in line to graduate, and not just to graduate, but also to earn a scholarship.
So, we've been blessed to send them. Like I said, since I've been at North, all 6 of our seniors have graduated on time, and they're all going to school, and they're all on scholarships. Yes.
What a blessing. And that is remarkable. And see, that's one of the reasons why I had to have you on Teen Talk Live, because you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk, and your players demonstrate that. And that is so amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, again, I think too often, most times our kids are going to school and they're in these environments where somebody's telling them, you can't read, you can't write, I always say the use of the word achievement gaps put the onus on the kids and their families. And what I tell our kids is that, we understand it's not an achievement gap, that everybody, and I always use this thing, that the maker of this computer, which is our brain, is a perfectionist, right? And so he didn't give anybody, regardless of color, gender, whatever, he didn't give anybody anything else. So there's nothing wrong with the hardware.
That's
Nothing
right.
wrong with the hardware. So basically, I'm of the belief that if we program the computer correct, that our kids are more than capable. And over the last 18 years, my young men have demonstrated that.
Excellent, excellent. So let me take a minute just to welcome our guests. I'm so glad, Joseph, that you join us. Hey, babe. My cousin Mika is here, and they have comments for you. Lots of people are saying congratulations. That's amazing. Good job. The end goal, and love it. So accolades coming in from our viewers. I just want to remind our viewers to like and share this. Share this out because people need to know this. And if you're listening or catching us on the replay, I want you to hashtag program the hardware. That's all it is, programming the hardware.
No question about it. Yes.
And you've done an amazing job of that because, like you said, these are kids who are coming from a community that has have had this negative stereotype around our Black boys. A lot
Absolutely.
Of have written
but I would say to you, I mean, very humbly, that I mean, there's no congratulations to me. I mean, they're doing the work, you know, and my job, again, as we've talked about in the beginning, as a mentor, is to be that person that encourages them, help them understand, really help them see that they're more than capable. And we, as we said earlier, just give them the tools that'll help them be successful. And, you know, one of the things is, you know, and so I'm proud because once they get it, you know, they're not only doing it, you know, here with me, but now when they get to that next stop, that university or that other place, they know that, you know, may not be easy, but I'm capable. And so that's just so the congratulations go to the young men because they're the ones who are putting in the work and making the sacrifices to really become all that they can be.
That is so amazing. And you know what? The great thing about it is that they have somebody who's there believing in them and telling them and you know, changing their narrative.
No question.
That's what you're doing. You're changing their narratives and helping them to believe in themselves.
Yeah, no question. Yeah.
And so, Coach, tell me this. What is, we were having this conversation before coming on, that, you know, the face of mentorship is really changing. The landscape is really changing as we look at the new mentors who are entering the field. And, you know, there's some of the challenges. So what are some of the challenges that you are seeing in untrained mentors these days?
Well, as we talked about in the prior to the show going live, is, you know, one of the biggest things that I see is I see, and I appreciate the young people that are coming in to do this work, but I see young people who come in, young men and women who come into this work and eventually become very, very frustrated early on because, one, the kids may not respond to them as fast as they expect. But the other thing that I really see, I see a lot of young people who want to come in and be a substitute for a mom or dad. And, you know, more do what I say kind of that. And one of the things that we tell young folks, you have a couple of kids that are coming in now to join.
Okay.
They can, yeah. And so you can have questions for them or whatever. Corey, you might pull over here and come on real quick. But, you know, so you're never going to replace somebody's mother, no matter what their circumstance. Grab a chair, guys, and then y'all come on. So this is an interview that they're doing. She wants to talk to. You're never going to replace their parents. I think you have to learn again as a mentor to just be there to provide tools for the young folks. And you may can you see us on this side in the camera?
I can see two guys right
Okay,
there.
so I don't know. So I'm saying you may recognize one in here.
Yeah,
So
I see my nephew right there.
yeah.
All right.
So we're on with her live from Atlanta, and she's talking about the importance of mentoring. So I'm just going to kind of hold the camera, and I'll kind of go around the room. They can introduce themselves, and you can ask questions,
Excellent.
and you can ask questions as you please, and or the audience, and I'll let them share from this point on. So.
Let me
Oh,
take
and these are three of my seniors who I very much am confident that they will be in. You know what? And I want to do this, and while we have, so I'm going to start with Coy. I just want y'all tell the audience your GPA.
Hi, my name is Corey Hines, and my GPA is 2.8.
My GPA is a P.
Tell
My
your
name's
name.
Odell Wilson. My GPA is a 3.8.
All right.
My GPA is 2.9.
Yeah. So all high academic students.
Congratulations, gentlemen. That is so amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me just a second. Let me welcome our guests and let them know what we're talking about. Laverne, thank you for joining us. Pam, thanks for being here. And we're getting lots of comments and lots of accolades from our audience who are saying good job. And I just want to tell you that we're talking about mentoring with Coach Larry McKenzie from North High School in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And now we have three of his senior players who've joined us. And so we are just so excited. These gentlemen have just shared their all in the high three. And so I'm so excited. And now we're going to hear from the gentlemen as we talk about the importance of mentoring in your life. All right, Coach. So who's going to speak first? Let me know what you think about the importance of having mentors in your life.
So introduce yourself, Taylor, and we'll go first.
I'm Taylor Johnson, and what was the question?
The importance of having mentors in your life.
I feel like it's very important to have a mentor in your life, especially one that has been in your shoes and know the importance of getting your work done. Somebody that's a hard worker and just that you can look up to at all times.
Thank you. And everybody, that's my nephew, Taylor. Woo-hoo.
Again, my name's Odell Wilson, and I think the point of having a mentor is just having somebody that you can rely on, depend on, and somebody that can lead you to the right path, and somebody that you could go to if you feel like you're alone, or just leading you to the right place when you're going the wrong path, and they know the right way to direct you to.
Excellent.
I'm Corey Hines again. A mentor for me is like a person who knows like the struggle, the same struggles as you. Gonna help you see past all your struggles. If you're feeling down, feeling blue, they're there to help pick you up. Help you stay on your tasks, your goals. They want you. Your mentor is supposed to help you want to be more in life. Like they try to help you get to college. Want to see your grades improve. Want to see your GPA up to like a 4.0 or even higher as it can go. That's pretty much it.
Wow. Well, thank you all, gentlemen, because you all have one of the greatest mentors that I know in your life. And so what do you feel your responsibility is to having had this experience? Because a lot of kids would like to be working with Coach McKenzie, and you all have this. What do you feel your responsibility is going forward?
I think our responsibility now is to take what he showed us and now become a mentor for others in the community or in the world. So be able to take the advice that he gave us and just pass it on so it can keep going. And then hopefully people that we're helping on can pass it on too. So it's a constant cycle going on.
Thank you.
Well, I was in the car with McKenzie one day, and he was telling me on like what I should do, like as being a senior, like hopefully the younger guys to go down the path I'm going on. He always, encouraged me to help tutor them. So, and I actually was going to take on the job of being a tutor and helping around the community if I have to. So, like our job is just to lead, keep our society the way it's going, and try to make it a better place for everyone.
Wow.
I feel like our responsibilities are to just feed off what he's telling us, use it as fuel, or like let it build inside us, and then once, whenever it is, just let it all out. It doesn't have to be to kids, but people our age or people even older, if they need it, we'll be there to help. Let it fuel and then see where that gets us.
That is so amazing. So guys, I have one question for you. We right before you came in, we started talking about just some kind of mix up that's going on with the newer mentors versus the more seasoned and the more experienced mentors. A lot of the newer members are coming in a role of trying to be parents to their mentees. What do you think about that? And what has your experience been with that, if you have that? What do you think the difference between a parent is and a mentor?
I feel like it's a parent and a mentor. That's probably, to me, it could be the same thing. My parent could be my mentor, especially if he's or she has been in my shoes and knows what's right or wrong, and also like that could give me tools in life that I could feed off and build on throughout my life. Just a lot of information I could use. My parent could be the one to tell me a lot of stuff. The same thing as a mentor.
I think what we were talking about, though, let me just kind of, so I can clarify them, though, with them is like people that come into your life that really don't have a relationship with you, but they just want to start telling you, you know what I'm saying, what to do, kind of, you know what I'm saying, that kind of, so I see a lot of that now from, young mentors coming in and they don't get to know you or whatever and start, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we kind of speak to.
Yeah, that's different. I feel like that's not what I would like want as a mentor. I want somebody that my family knows, and that also knows that could feed off my family, that knows like what I've been through, how I was growing up, like somebody I was around as a youngin', not just somebody I met when I was in high school or something like that. Somebody I knew when I was in middle school and growing up, so they can know what I've been through, know our problems or whatever that I went through.
So they're like, a person coming in.
Like what you said, I feel like for a new mentor coming in and trying to hurry up and tell you what to do or what's going on, it's not the right way, because it's rushing. I mean, they ain't getting the time to spend with you and know what you're going through or go see what's going on. So I mean, a rushing mentors and really mentoring and directing you to the way, it's rushing to hurry up and speed up the process, which isn't supposed to be right. It's supposed to take time and let the process come through and still direct you, not a rush process of trying to succeed into where they want you to be. But it's supposed to be what will be best for you, not best for them.
That's right.
For me, it would probably be like someone who is trustworthy. Like if I gotta know you, and we gotta like build a bond kind of. If we don't have that bond, then I would probably like listen to you, and then it would probably go out my other ears. But if I can't depend on you and like take your words as encouragement, and it's not like helping me become a better character, then I would just see right past that. So if we don't have like a strong bond, or we don't have like trust, or I just don't like think you fit my needs, then I'll probably just like look you off.
And then the other thing that I think is kind of cliche, but I think is really, really true. And I tell young coaches and I tell, folks that get into this, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I don't care who you are. The interesting thing when I was telling you, when I was a big brother, it took me 18 months for my brother to And one of the things, he had so much disappointment in his life. So even if I would call and say I was running late, he was like always expecting me to say I wasn't coming. You know, he was always looking for that disappointment. So I think the thing about it is, you know, knowledge is great, but it's really not about the knowledge that you about the experience. That kind of stuff. I was as a young man, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't know you if I didn't that you really cared about me as an individual, you know what I'm saying? Like even a player, you know, you always have people, they come around, they don't know you, but you know, go D1 or play in the league or whatever. They just want to be around, but they don't really, you know, they don't know nothing about what's going on with your family and stuff. I just have time with those kind of people. You know how you know.
That's really key. We have some technical difficulties going in and out, but coach, that is so important. And from what I'm hearing, you guys are saying relationship is key. It's the number one thing. Is to take time to build an effective relationship.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees with that.
Right. So, you know, I know I took you all out of practice, and I so appreciate your time. But I want you to tell our audience and what's next for you, seniors. What's next? What should we expect to see?
Y'all can just pass it through. What's next? So what's your future plan?
My future plan is going to college, and I'll be making my decision sometime soon, probably next month. But yeah, I'll be going to college playing a sport.
All right.
Probably I'm going to, well, not probably, I'm going to college. I'll be making my decision next month also to play a sport. Also, like, find somewhere like somewhere I can study at college that would best fit me, or where something like a plan B or sports that don't work out, like business or something like that.
Me too.
I'll probably be deciding next month as well. Kind of confused on the 3 sports I want to go for. So I will be going to college for sure. I'll be going for sociology. If not sociology, I'll be going for sports management.
No, this is what you want.
Wow. This is so exciting because, you know, the 3 of you that just shared your future plans, going to college, playing sports. The thing about it is you all can get an academic scholarship and a sports scholarship. And that speaks highly of the mentorship that you've had in your life. And congratulations to all of you, regardless of where you decide to do and what you decide to do. I'm so proud of you. This is just amazing.
So all them HBCUs down south, they're interested in schools down there as well. So they're not limited to Minnesota if you out there listening. So,
that's right.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think a couple of these young men have it. You know, I mean, obviously they can go to school almost any place in the country at 3.8, 3.9. So, you know, with those kind of grades, and so we know they're going to end up someplace, and their mom and dads and are not going to have to pay for it.
And that is so wonderful. That is so wonderful, Coach. This has been such an honor for me to have you on and to have your award-winning basketball team members on Teen Talk Live. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want you to talk to our mentors out there and leave some closing remarks with them.
Well, again, I mean, I would say to the mentors, I would repeat, you know, as I just said a few minutes ago, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think one of the key things is, you know, getting the young people that you're working with. And then again, I mean, just kind of rehashing, you know, be a real model, not a role model. One of the things that I understand, I mean, is, you know, my kids don't just watch me as a coach, but they watch me in my relationship with my wife. They watch me how I handle my granddaughters. They watch all of those kinds of stuff. it's as you said, it's a 12-hour job or 8-hour job. It's it's a 24-hour expectation, and but again, the responsibility of being, I always say, Bible talks about being a molder of clay. And that's what that's what a mentor is. You're a potter. You're being given, for me, I say, I get a 14-year-old, all of these young men, I got, they're going to be 8-year-old young men. And so, ability is to help mold them and then their mom or uncle, whomever. So that's something that you don't take lightly. That give the opportunity by the man above, and so it is. Did we lose you?
I lost you for a second. You froze there for a second, but
Okay.
we we got the gist of what you're saying, that it's a 24-hour job. This is not something you put on and take off.
Correct.
And Joseph, my husband, said, this is great. Thank you, Coach McKenzie, for all that you have done and continue to do. Keep up the great work, young man. You are our future, and the future is looking bright. All the best.
All right. So thank you for having us, and send us some of that good Southern weather.
All right. You got to come down here and get it.
Yeah. We'll be down there soon.
Thank you, gentlemen. And do me a favor. I want you to share this on your social media. It's going to be on YouTube. So feel free to share it with your friend group and let everybody know that you were on Teen Talk Live, where I'm your host, Ann Dillard. And we are transforming the lives and minds of teens and those who serve them. Thank you all for joining us. This has been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, turn your uniforms in so they can get